So, from one American League team to another, I'm going to go right over to the Detroit Tigers because somebody asked me to talk about the Tigers, and I'd love to talk about the Tigers. The Detroit Tigers, part of the American League Central, are very much in the race in the playoffs. And why are they in the race, in the playoff race? It is their lineup, guys. The Detroit Tigers have one of the most dangerous lineups. Their 1 through 7 is you can't take a batter off, right? Ian Kinsler is an all-star. Justin Upton, he was a good signing. He's a productive player. Cameron Maybin having a fantastic year, arguably a career season. Miguel Cabrera, top 3 hitter in baseball still. Arguably still the best hitter in baseball. I mean, he's aging, but he's still got it. And I think one of the most important developments that we've seen with the Detroit Tigers this season is Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos, and I bring him up because, one, he's one of the most productive players on the team, but my baseball genius decided to drop Castellanos in my fantasy team a week into the season. Now, I know you care very much so, but I just had to put that out there, so rip me for that because I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept him. But overall, guys, the Detroit Tigers, they're very much in it. And I say that because, well, the American League's all over the place. I got done talking about the Yankee segment. If you guys are listening on YouTube, thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe to us on Most Valuable Podcast. SoundCloud, thanks for sticking around because you guys are great. So I look at this wild card situation. Detroit's a game and a half out. They're playing some good baseball lately, and they weathered the storm in Cleveland. It was almost impossible to beat Cleveland for a while until they just bashed 12 runs on their asses, which was had to be satisfying for that team. But the Cleveland Indians are the team to beat in that division right now. Is it impossible for one of these 4 contenders to win this division? And I say Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, and Kansas City. I think Kansas City, they'll be a player, but I don't really take them seriously. I said this before in another podcast. The amount of injuries they've had and the inconsistencies in their rotation have just kind of hurt them. With Detroit, I think they have enough. They need to get healthy, and the person they really need to get healthy is Jordan Zimmermann. I know they invested a lot of money in a lot of guys. Upton, Zimmermann, just 2 examples. But I think it's paying off for them if they're a team that says, "Oh, we got to go for it. This is our one." I feel like this is the one last chance, this opportunity, this period of time, maybe this season, over the next 2. This is where they have to go in and try and win. They have a very, very talented shortstop in Jose Iglesias that I thought was a brilliant, brilliant move when they were able to acquire him from Boston. That involved Avi Garcia for all you White Sox fans out there. This lineup is good enough to carry them throughout the season as long as their pitchers just give them a chance to win. And I know that's a lot to ask for because when you're throwing Mike Pelfrey out there, sometimes it's rough. But their rotation, when I look at their rotation, obviously, like I said, Zimmermann has to be healthy, but the production they're getting out of Michael Fulmer, 23-year-old starting pitcher, is beyond their expectations right now. It's fantastic what he's doing. He's keeping him in ball games. His last 7 games, 0.63 ERA in 42 2/3 innings, only 3 earned runs given up, a whip of 0.87. That is production, man. That is locked down. When this guy's on the mound, we're going to win this game. And it's been that way for Mr. Fulmer. That's something good. And guys, we have to understand, Justin Verlander isn't going to be the Justin Verlander we know and love throwing 99 miles an hour in that All-Star game. He's come back to earth a little bit. And he's not getting I shouldn't say he's not getting the amount of strikeouts because he's still striking out over 1 per inning. But at the same time, it's like, you see the regression. You see guys squaring him up more often than we're used to in terms of Justin Verlander. But he's getting older. 33 years old. He had a very productive career for the Detroit Tigers. For them to give him that contract, I can't argue with that at all. So it's totally fine. But Jordan Zimmermann's huge. Got to get him healthy. I think he'll be fine. You got to get him healthy. They got to figure out what they want to do in the rotation. Another thing that kind of bothers me is their bullpen. And Detroit Tiger fans, I know you're sick of hearing people talk about their bullpen because I'm sick of it too. But it's just an overwhelming gray cloud hovering over this franchise for so long. They can't hold a lead. It's so frustrating. K-Rod, solid. I won't go any further than solid because he sometimes is a little erratic and kind of gives you a heart attack. What will carry, and I will keep saying this, what will carry this team in the American League is their lineup. And I don't think any team wants to face them in the second half because of the production that they're getting from Miggy. He has to stay healthy, but it's tough. As he's getting older, he's always dealing with something in his back and his hips. It's kind of hard to watch sometimes. But like I said, this Detroit Tigers team is very interesting. I kind of wrote them off in May, and I'm regretting that because this team definitely has enough. Am I taking them seriously? Not necessarily yet, but I'm sure they're going to be in the conversation all the way through August because this lineup can rake, absolutely rake. And Castellanos, let's talk about Nick Castellanos a little bit. First round draft pick, 44 overall, 24 years old, and it's been a little bit of a struggle coming up. And I know a lot of Tigers fans, a little frustrated with his production, his first 3 years in the league. But you saw it there, right? Like his OBP numbers, maybe you'd like him to be a little bit better, but he's still slugging the ball pretty well. He had 30 doubles in 2014 and 2015. Now in 2016, you see it all together. He's slashing 307, 346, 540. 886 OPS right now. He already out-homered himself over the last 2 seasons. He has 16, and he's 23 RBI away from his career high. And it's July 7th. This man is coming together. And Tigers fans have a lot to be excited about because he's young, cost-controlled for a little while, especially since he was a draft pick. This is a player that can very much be excited about. And as I wrap this Detroit Tigers conversation up, I just have to mention that if this doesn't work out, they're not making the playoffs these next couple seasons, I'm afraid that the Detroit Tigers might turn into the Philadelphia Phillies. And it might be a little painful for a bit. I know the Phillies are okay this year. Okay. I mean, they're not as good as they were in the first half, but I'm just afraid, especially with all these expiring contracts and all the money left on the books from their starting pitchers that they invested in, as well as their hitters, obviously. So, Tigers fans, I'm holding out hope for you. I'm just looking at this AL Central, though, and as much as the Indians played well, I don't know if they can sustain that type of success because they're always a wild card. They have 2 all-star pitchers, which I will get to in a little bit in terms of the all-star game because I'm excited to talk about that. But with the Indians, is their offense going to be capable of producing like they have been, especially during their crazy streak of wins in a row? The Detroit Tigers lineup I will consistently rely on, and they will consistently produce. And that's a dangerous thing in the American League. Overall, Detroit Tigers, are they a playoff team? Boy, howdy. They're a contender for a wild card, and even, hell, I'll give them contention in the division. Why not? But are they going to make the playoffs this year? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say 2 wild card spots go elsewhere. In the one of them could come from the AL Central, but I don't think it'll be the Tigers. So I'm sorry, Detroit fans. And I'm interested because the trade deadline, it's going to be very active this season. Maybe they go out and try and sign a pitcher. If they sign a pitcher, maybe I don't know if they want to go after Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray is kind of this year. I don't know who's on their radar, but if they make some savvy move for a starter, man, they're right back into the conversation. They have to be. Because they put themselves in a decent spot after kind of hovering around 500 all season in the first half. Going into the All-Star break, they're right in it. And if I'm a Tigers fan, I would be excited. But they got to get healthy. They got to rely on their offense. Make a move or two by the deadline. Hell, anything can happen. Baseball's crazy, guys. So, hope you enjoyed this Tigers talk. If you didn't, or if you did, that's great. I hope you do. Leave comments in the section below if you want to. Tell me how dumb I am. That's okay. You won't hurt my feelings. Well, maybe a little bit.